Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. The fucking chilly Irish morning, got the heater on, it's taking a while to come on. Bloody nipples are stiffer than a fucking Alaskan pole dancer. Where to start? Okay, little hangover this morning as well. It is a big weekend on the beer. It was a big weekend of football. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. I took my swings, I took my minus 16. I played my bench boost. Won't review all of that again other than to say 94 points. Rose by about 120, 130,000 to 514. So I guess you could say in that context, yes, the swing sort of hit. But it was a bit of a miss, really. I've got to be honest with myself. It's a bloody Haaland injury. It really did sort of analyse it. It cost at least 100,000 because although I wasn't captaining Haaland and his points would have hurt me a bit, I wasn't overly worried. That's why I went with Captain Bruno. But of course, millions of people with the captaincy on Haaland suddenly had it moving to Ekatike. Or of course Bruno was the big one. So a huge amount of benefit of going for that differential captain just gone, which is a little disappointing. But took the swing, sort of a hit, bit of a miss. The big thing I think to come out of it was one of the reasons for taking those hits and applying the bench boost just in the hope just to buffer what I thought would be a big red arrow. Was to build a team going out and get in the players that I wanted, because you know what, I've just been looking at this, and fair play to you that didn't follow the bloody narrative. Leaving so many points behind, we get so entrenched in looking at that blank. Oh, I can't bring in Semenyo. Oh, I can't do this. I can't bring in that player. They're going to be blanking in 31, and week after week, Semenyo in particular, scoring points. So fuck it, I'm just getting the players that I bloody want. I'll take the hits, because at the moment it's just falling further and further off the radar. So it kind of worked, and I would be happy with the team going forward, except we now have 3 fucking yellow cards. Yellow flags. Team, as you see it there, is the way I would like to put it up for game week 29. What's in the spreadsheet is the reality of what it's probably going to look like. So I will start probably with the lineup as you see it there, with Rice, O'Reilly and Haaland all going out, unless we get some definitive news. I'm very tempted to go back on what I said and take a transfer, but it's a short deadline, so I'll just keep the FOMO gloves on, because I'm not too sure who would I bring in. Who could I bring in that's actually going to make even the 11 there much better? Wilson, I suppose. But who do I bring him in for? There isn't anyone. I'd have to do 2 transfers. And I would have liked on that minus 16. I would have brought Wilson in. Just couldn't manipulate the cash enough to squeeze him in there instead of Anderson, who, of course, and if you look at the spreadsheet, I'll go through it in a second, with his numbers just ticking along beautifully with his 5s, his 6s, and his 7s, and the second I bring him in, no bloody DEFCON and a yellow card, 1 pointer. That was probably the biggest disappointment. The hits by and large did kind of work. I mean, all because I don't count. And Anderson was an enabler. I needed to buy him to release cash from Palmer out and Anderson in. It was almost like the first transfer in a way, because then that released the cash to do, the other things. The ones that I probably would consider the hits, which would be, if I run through it very quickly, who really were the hits. Yeah, I mean, Ekatike, because I needed to free up the money, so Ekatike was technically a hit, big success. Thiago, again, it was about releasing money to bring Thiago, so Thiago was a hit. So yeah, technically a success. Odango, just the assist. And Virgil, just a shame, didn't keep the clean sheet. Will Liverpool ever keep a clean sheet? God knows, not for me anyways. But you know, Virgil is definitely chugging along very, very, very well. So all the hits actually, technically, because I'm just giving myself a crumb of comfort here, haven't I? But Anderson was really, really one of the first transfers. You know, Palmer out, Anderson in, big chunk of money. Who do I want? Who am I going to take these hits for? And they all actually did come in. Would have liked Hill though. Oh, that would have made it. It was such a good game week. If Anderson could have been hit, if Anderson could have been Harry, what's his face? Harry Potter, not Harry Potter. You know what I mean? He's a fucking wizard, isn't he? This game week. Alright, let's get focused here. You'll see in the spreadsheet here, I have now built it out to game week 38 because things are going to get very, very serious and messy soon, folks. They really, really are. The team, if everyone recovers from injury, O'Reilly, Rice and Haaland with the yellow flags, as you'll see in the spreadsheet, got them on the subs bench at the moment. That's a real pain in the arse, you know, especially with some of those fixtures, eh? You know, O'Reilly and Haaland home to Forest. Forest are not great at the moment, are they? So it's a real bummer. Them potentially dropping to the bench. We don't know for sure yet. It could be all right, and I have no idea what's up with Rice. I haven't caught up. I only saw that yellow flag this morning when I got up. So we'll see what's going on there. But at the moment, we are going to be in a 5-4-1 if all of them are out for the midweek game. Raya, what is it with Arsenal now? Just finding a way to bloody concede, aren't they? An own goal. Hincapi, own goal. Yeah, the double Arsenal clean sheet yesterday would have been really would have made the game week for me. But yeah, I've got to have a think about this. But who do I get rid of? And I can't really afford the transfers at the moment, so just going to have to roll with it and hope that they start to stop giving away these stupid fucking goals. The defence by Arsenal is good. They just keep coughing up a stupid goal every game at the moment. Alderete leads away, might be okay. So at least he's got his DEFCON back, so he wasn't too bad last game week with the 4-pointer. I'd take that again. Virgil, Wolves away. I'm not even going to call a Liverpool clean sheet. Maybe he'll get another attacking return. The Liverpool set pieces are definitely turning into a thing. Hill, of course, after being on a really nice run, just came in with 2. Brentford at home. That's going to mean I'm going to have 2 attackers against one of my defenders. So let's hope. Yeah, it's unavoidable sometimes, isn't it? Especially when you've got injuries. Is what it is. But Hill's got a nice average there of 6.2. If you can find a way to do that with a little attacking return or something, that would be fantastic. Gabriel's down to a 4.8 now with the 6, 3, 4, 2, and the 9's just dragged him back. He's obviously not going anywhere. Did he get his DEFCON? Yeah, he did. He did. He got 9.3 yesterday. You know, got his DEFCON, got his assist. You can't really complain with that, can you? Just a shame it wasn't his actual goal. And Odango. I'm going to talk about Odango in a second. Just the assist. But I do like these run of fixtures: Bournemouth, Wolves, Leeds, Everton, Fulham. I'm going to talk more about Odango in a second because I've got a big decision to make this week. I think all of us have got a little tricky decision. Anderson away to Man City, but I guess it is the sort of game where he could well pick up his DEFCON, isn't it? But I don't hold out too much hopes for any more than that. Mbumo and Bruno, the Mbumo-Bruno pair. Nothing from Mbumo yesterday. Average just a 4.8 now. Has returned in 3 of his last 5. so he's due a return, and I honestly think this is. I actually think this is a game that will suit Mbumo more than the Palace game. I think it could be chaos at St James's Park, and United will get pushed back. And just face it, just him in running in behind and down that right suits him better as a game, running into those big wide open spaces. So I've got a feeling Mbumo could go well this game week, and similarly Bruno. It's just nice to see, and I'm hoping I'm right because he had a couple of blanks. But once Bruno hits one of those double-digit hauls, he tends to get 2 or 3 or 4 in a row. Could really do with that. He's obviously a captaincy possibility for this game week. Thiago, now hopefully now he's just broke his little blanking streak, and with some of those fixtures, Bournemouth, Wolves, Leeds, Everton, Fulham. Yeah, let's hope the dam bursts for Thiago, and Ekitike. Do have that risk there. There's a risk of a lot of players. I'm talking about Ekitike minutes risk, but there's a risk for a lot of players at the moment, which is why one of the reasons I took the hits to really build big squad depth. And now I've already got 3 of the feckers yellow flagged. Oh, I tell you what, hey. So, although I'm having less faith in the spreadsheet these days, and I'm going to talk more about that towards the end of the season. I am in the process of redesigning the spreadsheet and doing a bit of analysis because the game has changed. The game has changed, and this quite simple methodology that has served me very well for a few seasons, I think needs some adjusting in its algorithms. Even though it's a fairly simple algorithm, needs some adjustment, because between having fewer reliable assets, premiums that you can rely on, the emergence of so many cheaper options, midfielders, the lack of consistent strikers, we are going to be going for a major remodel for next season. However, it is what it is for now. I'll still use it for reasonable guidance, and that is showing a 57.4 average with those 11 excluding captaincy. I'd totally take a 57.4 if they could come in with that, but I don't like the look of a few of those fixtures. But a 57.4 with a captain's armband on someone bringing in a few points would be acceptable, just to consolidate a little bit after a decent game week this week, decent enough rank rise, and just to get to that 5th round of the FA Cup, which is critical, getting some information from that going forward, and then we can have a little break and digest all the FA Cup information, and as well as anything that happens in Europe, of course, as well, which could affect things. Now, captain's armband. I've got a temptation to go differential, big differential. I mean, who are we going to put it on this week? If Haaland is out, which seems very likely, I'd have certainly been putting it. I would have absolutely been putting it on Haaland, I think, for Forest at home. I'm seriously thinking about a wild swing with O'Dango. He is a player that does have big haul potential. He really is. Is it not consistent? Not consistent. Excuse me. Cold this morning. Not consistent haul potential, but he does haul. He does have 15, 16, 17 point hauls in his locker. Bournemouth concede a lot down that right wing. There's a lot of chances and goals come down that channel. And if he's on it, I mean, he is a one-man human wrecking ball. He could be winning penalties, which would be lovely if Thiago's sticking them away, or he could just cut it in through there and smack one in the net. I'm really tempted by it. It's either O'Dango or Bruno. Bruno, he tends to go clutch when he hits one of those 10 pointer pluses. And Newcastle are conceding. They are. No, I think United will concede. This game to me is one that could end up something stupid like 3-3 or 4-3 or 4-4. Um, I think Newcastle are gonna come out trying to redeem themselves after some of these poor games. But at the end of the day, their squad is thin. They've got injuries. They've got all these European matches. They've got they've just got a horrible schedule. It could be a toss of a coin, I think, between Odango and Bruno. But I'm just leaning towards the little punt. I'm obviously in punty mood at the moment after the reasonable success of the -16. And it's like, why the fuck not? Just do something different. So just got a little leaning to Odango. I may well bottle it and go to Bruno, but I'll kick myself if Odango does go large. And I do think against that Bournemouth team, he could well go large. What do you think? Let me know in the comments on this one. Where are you going with your captaincy? Because I think it's a very, very, very difficult one this week. Particularly with Haaland being out. If you got Wilson, if you got Harry Wilson, that would be a good shout maybe. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Tricky one. I think I'm going to go with Odango. I could bottle it. I could well bottle it. Little brief talk about the then going sort of forward. We're going to have the obviously the cup matches. Obviously the things we've got an eye on at the moment. Blank 31. Now, at the moment, I have got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got 10 playing players. At least all the ones that are yellow flagged there at the moment, they're all blankers in 31. But fundamentally, pending other injuries, etc., I'll just need one transfer to give me the full 11 there. I'm not sure who that will be as yet, and that will probably be driven a little bit by what happens in that 5th round of the FA Cup, and maybe projecting forward who are likely to be the doublers in 33 and 30 and the blanks in 34. I'm having a little rethink on my tactic around that when I spoke about, roll some transfers, make sure I've got a full team out for the blanks, for the doubles, and then free hit 34. Now I am having a little rethink around that, and it very much depends how the next few game weeks go. Obviously, now having played my bench boost, then I do not have the possibility of having a full squad, including bench out, with doubles. This could be bad. Because fundamentally, anyone that does wildcard into that, and if we do, and I think it's highly probable there will be enough teams doubling, they're going to be able to put a full 15 out with doubles, which effectively means they've got an extra for eight fixtures. Now, as we know, FPL doesn't always deliver what we hope it delivers with bench boosts and things like that. And people that are playing that tactic, and it is totally the right thing to do, in my opinion, if you've held onto that wildcard, it's absolutely the way to go. However, is there a way of using that to my advantage to create a differential? Because obviously, if you're wildcarding into that, you want to put a full team out of playing players and have a reasonable bench. So you're not going to be able to put out, there'll be 1 or 2 sort of 4 million options, maybe, but you're going to have to spread your money a bit thin. Unless, of course, Haaland's injured, then we're all going to have shitloads of cash, aren't we? But for me, I think I'm going to go, and again, it very much depends how this 5th round and the quarterfinal plays out. And if I do suddenly find I do actually, I've already got a full 11 out there, it'd be stupid to free hit that. But if I find I'm sort of in that sort of 50-50 house, if I have got 4 or 5 transfers, and maybe if half my team is doubling, I may well just free hit, so I can go for an optimum 11 with money no object, first 11, go a bit differential against what may well be a template that forms in 33, and just free hit it. and go against the grain in some areas, but also have enough money to put in absolutely anyone that I want, because I'm not trying to obviously cover, and I'll just put some 3.8 million rubbish on the bench, and we'll just go hard at it with an absolute optimum 11 as opposed to an optimum 15, but having to spread your money thin. This may or may not work out, but I've got to seek some levels of differentials at the moment, to have any hope at all. And then just make sure that I have got enough transfers for blank 34, and this could bite me on the bum, because I may have to, well, I'll probably be able to hide some players on the bench obviously, but there may put me in a position where maybe I only go out with 8, 9, 10 players for blank 34, unless I have enough transfers to get a full 11 out, but having to sell players that maybe I don't want to sell. I'll use it as an example. I mean, Arsenal's fixture run post 34 looks really nice, doesn't it? Fulham, West Ham, Burnley, Palace, who else is in there? Liverpool's a bit hit and miss, isn't it? But not awful. This is a developing thought. But I think the next big wild swings, it really is, I do have to try and roll a few, just make sure I get a player in there for 31. See how that double 33, blank 34 is developing, projecting forward, and maybe decide what players I do want in there. Do I want ones that are going to be a player in blank 34 or a doubler in 33? As I make that decision, I'm going to go for an optimum doubling 11 in 33, and I feel that's the way that I'd prefer to go, and will give me the best chance of at least counteracting a little bit the wildcarders that are going to have wildcarding in 32, have the full 15 in 33, and playing their bench boost, or a triple captain even. How do I counteract that? I think for me it's going to be going with an optimum 11 that are definitely playing. You cast in, especially if that title race is heating up, and we do have Arsenal and Villa are out of it, aren't they? But Arsenal and City, not really been able to afford to rotate too much, having to put their best 11s out, whatever the hell it is, because it's competitive everywhere. It's competitive at the bottom at the moment in that relegation battle, and it's certainly competitive at the top with City and Arsenal. So finding 11 definitive, not going to get rotated starters for 2 big games as the season draws to a conclusion should be viable, he said, hopefully. I think that's about it from me on this one. So I am going to start with O'Reilly, Rice and Haaland until I get definitive news, because they're either going to play or they're not going to play. It's kind of it really, isn't it? And just keep my fingers crossed. I don't think I'm going to do a transfer. Let's just get through this one somehow, and then let's see what happens in that 5th round of the FA Cup, because there could be more there could be more injuries in this game week. There could be injuries, or God knows what could happen in these cup matches. And then we'll just have to see what sort of shape we are in by the time we get to 30, because my game week 30 team looks great. My game week 31 team looks pretty bloody good as well. Once I get the one transfer in there. 32, this is the interesting one for you wildcarders, because I imagine you're going to have a lot of the same players as me. We're going to be wildcarding a team, I would imagine, that looks pretty decent. Is it worth holding it, just doing the wildcard? I'm just thinking it's not advised as such. Maybe just have a look at your game week 32 team, because you're going to have a lot of you guys are going to have a lot of the same players as me. Your TKs, your Thiagos, your Brunos, Bumo. That's pretty bloody good fixtures. Rice, Bournemouth home. City not so hot, Chelsea away, but Chelsea are not exactly fantastic at the moment. Don't know. Would it be worth just just doing the wildcard in 33 as opposed to doing a bunch of transfers out. I'm not sure I'd want a wildcard 32 even if I had it. Anyway, take care. Have fun. Play your own game. Don't panic. I'm going to come back with the Bishop Brennan Cup tomorrow. My internet's down at the moment, so I'm just recording this local. Hopefully the internet comes up shortly and we'll get this video up. Big scores in the big scores. It's the return of the big scores this week. Nice to see some big rank risers. Our number 1s, 2 and 3s. Again, doing very, very well in the world ranking, so I'm looking forward to going through that because I've had a couple of weeks break from the Bishop Brennan Cup because, as you know, I've had a shitload of stuff going on. With solicitors, hospitals, and you name it, I have been involved in it. But mostly this weekend, I just drank, and it was fun, especially with the football. I'll see you lot soon. Bye-bye.